Deferred prosecution agreements have their origins in a scheme to provide lenient treatment to first-time drug offenders in Brooklyn, New York in the 1930s. The idea was that the prosecutors would file their case but then defer it to a later date to allow the defendant time to stay clean. If they did stay clean, then the charges would ultimately be dropped. And DPAs apply in a similar fashion to corporations in the United States and the United Kingdom. So the corporations agree to any one of a number of conditions, which may include a financial penalty, reparation to victims, or disgorgement of profit. They may also include measures designed to ensure the future adherence to law, so improvements to compliance frameworks, or implementation of a monitoring regime. In exchange for compliance with these conditions, the prosecutor agrees to not pursue criminal action at that point in time.
Currently, the principal penalty for a corporation convicted of a criminal offence is a fine. Now, the potential for a large fine may serve to act as a deterrent, but it does nothing to ensure future compliance. So the principal advantage of DPAs is that they provide a more flexible and effective tool to ensure cultural change in an organisation that has experienced an issue. And this is particularly important in the context of foreign bribery and corruption. In this context, importantly, an Australian corporation may well be subject to foreign corruption laws in addition to Australian laws. And two of the key jurisdictions, the US and the UK, make provision for DPAs. So an Australian corporation may face the risk in a situation where there's more than one law that applies to conduct overseas, that the disconnect between the Australian regime and the overseas regime may make it more difficult to achieve an early resolution which provides an appropriate sanction for the past conduct, but also acts to ensure compliance going forward.
Well, there are four key advantages of deferred prosecution agreements that I want to touch on today. The first is from the regulator's perspective. DPAs offer a middle ground between the all option of fully contested criminal trial and the nothing option of declining to prosecute at all. So they effectively add another layer to the enforcement pyramid. Secondly, from the company's perspective, they offer a structure to resolve potential criminal liability where there's been wrongdoing relatively quickly and with a level of certainty and control that you don't usually find in traditional criminal enforcement. Thirdly, they offer efficiencies, both from a time and a cost perspective. You avoid a lengthy criminal trial and the significant uncertainty that is associated with such a process. And then finally, they provide a more effective enforcement tool for ensuring structural and cultural change within the company. They're a flexible remedy and can include provisions such as more effective compliance frameworks, as well as overseeing ongoing relevant conduct.